You want me to put that on my todger?
You made me cry. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Are you completely devoid of talent? Are you utterly useless at whatever you attempt to do? Do people not like you after finally realizing that you're nothing than a low-rent grifter? Has everything that you touch turned to shit and you've realized that you've got the Sadim touch? If so, then why don't you try another pity play and drag something up from the past? After all, this is what Harry's wife attempts to do. Yes, as the downward spiral continues for Harry's wife and things continue to go to shit for her, rather than just stay quiet and assert control by staying in a position of withdrawal, instead, Harry's wife has to crank things up to try and lash out at other people in order to get that control and draw fuel. How has she done it this time? Well, it's a piece written by Scarlett O'Toole in The Mirror, with the headline, Harry's wife feels Kate Middleton got away with mistreating her after making her cry. Now, understand that Harry's wife doesn't sit there every day and think to herself, it's so unfair that Nemesis got away with making me cry. She should be brought to account. Often, she won't be thinking about Catherine because she's not on the radar. But when she does appear, Catherine will inevitably, because she's painted black and is the Nemesis, her very presence threatens the control of Harry's wife, and therefore she needs to do something about it. And what she does is demonstrate once again what a waste of space she actually is, as a consequence of harping on about something that happened years ago, and doing so by way of a pity play. She has nothing new or meaningful to offer, nothing positive, no talent to share. So instead, she once again does what she has always done. Play the victim, lie, revise history. The article states, Harry's wife feels as though Kate Middleton has never been held accountable for the way she treated her during her time in the royal family. The sisters-in-law have developed a frosty relationship, that's putting it mildly, over the years, with Harry's wife claiming Kate made her cry just 4 days before she married Prince Harry, accordingly bringing something up from 5 years ago. During a dramatic interview with Oprah Winfrey, the Duchess of Sussex admitted she had been hurt by Kate's actions. Pity play at the time, resurrection of pity play by bringing up the past. Harry explained the situation in his memoir, Spare. The Duke of Sussex said he had found Harry's wife crying on the floor, naturally her default position because it's acting. When you're upset about something, your eyes may well up with tears. You might issue a noise that people would understand to be demonstrative of upset and hurt. You might hug somebody. You might perhaps curl up in a ball on your bed, becoming the fetal position. You might sit and stare out of the window, tears silently cascading down your face. But what you don't do is drop to the floor. But Harry's wife does this because she thinks that is what you do when you're being dramatic about crying. She thinks that's what you do when you're upset, probably because she's seen it in a film sometime, and her narcissism when it engages in the imitation game, because remember, she's not actually upset in the way that a non-narcissist would be. She's trying to engender sympathy by virtue of a pity play. And so her narcissism goes to the most dramatic thing that it can do, which is flopping to the floor and crying. You can well imagine, of course, that she'd be waiting until Harry's footsteps can be heard. He's approaching, and 1, 2, 3, hit the floor, left eye, 1 tear, go, and away she goes. It's a completely unnatural response, but this isn't a surprise when it comes to Harry's wife, because much of what she does is unnatural, because it's governed by an emulated response caused by the mimicking behaviour of her narcissism. Kate is said to have told Harry's wife there was a problem with her daughter Princess Charlotte's dress. She's then alleged to have said all of the bridesmaid dresses needed to be completely remade. A source has said Harry's wife is unhappy with the ways Kate and her husband Prince William are perceived by the public, i.e. she's envious of the fact that they're well liked. They said Harry's wife feels they've never been held accountable for the way they treated her. Notice it's all about her. When she was part of the royals, have never apologised and have seemingly got away with it. Well, according to the information from Tom Bauer, there was nothing to get away with because, as we all know, it was Harry's wife that made Catherine cry. That Catherine went to apologise with some flowers and had the door slammed in her face and later learned that the flowers had been thrown in the bin. We know that this would be the reaction of Harry's wife because her narcissism dictates that she would behave this way, whereas with Catherine, she would be upset with someone being so vicious and aggressive towards her. Naturally, of course, Harry's wife, liar that she is, has to project that she's the victim and therefore project that Catherine is the aggressor. This then results in her putting out this porky pie, telling everybody, "Oh, I'm the one that was hurt, she made me cry." Nobody accepts that unless you're completely simple. But not only has she rolled this out before, but she continues to do so, which demonstrates that not only is she completely unoriginal, but so's her narcissism. It just repeats the things that she's done before. Now, when Catherine appears and poses a threat to control, her narcissism doles out this pity play. I'm the victim, she was horrible to me. The article continues by explaining it was explained how Harry's wife was convinced people would sympathise with her following the release of her and Harry's explosive Netflix documentary. In the show, they made a number of claims about their time in the firm. Instead, the source told Close Up magazine, "That hasn't happened. This isn't how she envisaged things would turn out. But Harry's wife knows the truth and will tell anyone who will listen that Kate had an edge to her." The Mirror has approached Harry's wife and Kate's representatives for comment. Despite the tensions, Harry's wife did admit that Kate sent her flowers after the incident. Speaking to Oprah, Harry's wife said, "I don't say that to be disparaging to anyone because it was a really hard week of the wedding and she was upset about something, but she owned it and she apologised and she brought me flowers and a note apologising." A further revision of history there. She added, "It made me cry and it really hurt my feelings, and I thought in the context of everything else that was going on in those days leading to the wedding that it didn't make sense to not be just doing what everyone else was doing, which was trying to be supportive, knowing what was going on with my dad and whatnot. There wasn't a confrontation. I don't think it's fair to her to get into details of that because she apologised and I've forgiven her." Well, you evidently haven't. You contradict yourself once again. There was nothing to forgive because she wasn't the aggressor, you were. And moreover, you haven't forgiven her because you keep bringing it up, complaining that she got away with it. So you just contradicted yourself again, Harry's wife, which is hardly a surprise. Once again, she doles out the pity play, obsessing in relation to Catherine. Whenever she appears on the radar, she doles out this pity play and continues to tell the world, "She was the one that made me cry, she's got away with it, she's a big meanie." But to be honest, nobody's listening to her because everybody's sick and tired of her lies and pity plays. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.